Shalom from Jerusalem. That's right, it's Purim. But it's actually a very serious time. And it's a time for a very serious discussion. The book of Esther, Vayibi me Achashverosh, it was the time of Achashverosh. And he's making this huge party. 6 months. It's unbelievable. I mean, I've been to some parties in my day, but this party was the party of all parties. So first of all, we asked the question, who is Achashverosh? Why is he making a party in his 3rd year of his kingship? Doesn't make so much sense. It's sort of like we're entering in the middle of a story. We got to find out the whole picture over here in order to understand what the Megillah is trying to teach us in our day, because we know the Megillah is very serious business. Our rabbis teach us that all the holidays in the future will be void, except for the Megillah. So Megillah is really teaching us a very important lesson. And if we just read the Megillah, unfortunately, we really don't pick up on it. We really don't understand the essence of what the bottom line is. And that's why I'm here, Levi Chazan, in order to bring you home the bottom line of the Megillah. In essence, the Megillah, the story of Achashverosh and Esther, really starts a few years before, in the time of Koresh. Now, we open up the book of Ezra, 1st chapter, 1st pasuk. In the 1st year of Koresh, king of Persia, at the conclusion of Hashem's prophecy by the mouth of Jeremiah, Hashem aroused the spirit of Koresh, king of Persia, and he issued a decree throughout his kingdom, saying, "Thus says Koresh, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth of Hashem, God of heaven, have given over to me, and he has commanded me to build a temple in Jerusalem, which is in Judah." Okay? So this is like big news over here. This is major news. This is the front page on Fox. This is the front page on CNN. Koresh decreed that there must be a temple in Jerusalem. Yafet. The Jews are probably just ecstatic about this. Time to come home. They've been in exile for almost 70 years now. Destruction of the temple is still fresh in their minds. This got to be great. They are going to come home. Unfortunately, so few heard the creed. So few heard the word of Koresh. And only a pitiful 42,000 Jews returned to build up the land in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. Horrible. But if we look over here in the Megillah, we see that Achashverosh is having a tremendous celebration. Now, what's going on over here? Koresh gives permission for the Jews to rebuild the temple and to come back to Eretz Israel, to the land of Israel. But as we said, so few people did that. But they did start in the construction of the temple. Now, just a few years after Koresh is king, Achashverosh takes the throne. And one of his first decrees is stop order. Stop building the temple. Because his holy wife, Vashti, tells him like this: my grandfather, Nebuchadnezzar, destroyed the temple. And now you're going to let the Jews rebuild the temple in Eretz Israel, in Jerusalem? That's crazy, man. This can't be happening. So Achashverosh listens to his wife, puts a stop order. The Jews can't build the temple anymore. What happens? The Jews are very upset about this because they're just starting the construction of the Holy Temple. So they send a delegation over to Persia to speak to Achashverosh face to face. Face to face. Who's going over for the Jews to represent them and try to get him, to persuade him to rebuild the temple, to continue with the construction? None other than our hero of the Megillah, Mordechai HaYehudi. That's right. Mordechai Yehudi came up to Eretz Israel. And now he's returning to Persia to talk to Achashverosh. But now the nations, the neighbors of the Jews, who actually talked to Achashverosh and said the Jews are rebelling, don't let them build the temple, they see that the Jews are sending a delegation. So they say, we also got to send somebody over to Achashverosh. Who do they choose to pick? None other than the great villain, the arch enemy of the Jewish people, Haman. That's right. Haman lived in Eretz Israel. So now Haman and Mordechai head over to Persia. Now, They disembark from the ship, and they see the Jews running all over the place. Mordecai asks, what's going on? Haven't you heard, Mordecai? There's a tremendous bash in the house of Achashverosh, and we're celebrating. All right. Well, what's the celebration about? This is huge because, as we said, this is a party. This is not just any other type of party. This is a huge, huge party. What are they celebrating? None other, Achashverosh, wearing the high priest's garments, is celebrating that the Jews have not been redeemed. Could you believe it? That's right. They made a calculation that the 70 years of the prophecy of Jeremiah that the Jews would be in exile had already taken place. And the Jews, in mass, had not returned. And now Achashverosh has placed a stop order so the building of the temple cannot be done. And so they are celebrating a mass picture that the Jews have not been redeemed. Could you believe it? Now Achashverosh and all his friends are saying, hey, God has rejected the Jews. He's not redeeming them. He's not building his house again for them. And who's participating in this party? None other than the Jews themselves. But don't worry. Each one had his Mahadran, his OU Heksher, his Star K Heksher. Everyone was good. Kedat V'din. Everything was perfect. All the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. Everything was Mahadran. It was great. Yes. We were Makpid in the Hadran. But we were missing the essence. We didn't come back to Eretz Yisrael. To make a long story short, because our time is short on YouTube, the bottom line, the harsh decree against the Jews to wipe them out, men, women, and children, came about. Why? Because the Jews did not awaken when Koresh gave them permission to come up to Eretz Yisrael and to rebuild the temple. The Jews did not come. And so this horrible decree came against the Jewish people. It was only after an awakening amongst the Jews, they did tshuva, they returned to God, that the horrible decree was nullified. Bottom line, and we could take this home to us today. The story of Purim is all about the Jews' failure to come back to the land of Israel when they had the opportunity and to rebuild the Holy Temple when permission was given to them. And they did not heed the cry. And so the story of Purim developed. Thank God it had a happy ending, but not every time does it. We have to take this lesson home for us. We have to take it to heart. Because it's vital that we understand the story of Purim. Today, God has opened the gates to the land of Eretz Yisrael. Today, we have every opportunity to come home. He requests it, he wants it, and it's all over the Torah. There's nothing without doing the commandments in the land of Eretz Yisrael. Everything else is just practice. And if we don't do it, as every single exile throughout history has ended tragically for the Jewish people, so will this exile. That's the story of Purim. And so, we must conclude our Purim Shiur. Please take the message home with us, because it's vital for your safety and your children, for all generations. The process of redemption cannot and will not be stopped. And it's coming quickly. Things are happening. The earth is preparing itself. The Middle East is in turmoil. The only place, the only safe haven is the land of Israel for the Jewish people. That's right. So shalom. I'm Levi Chazan. You are not. From Yeshivat Rayoni Yehudi in Yerushalayim. Purim Sameach.